Alright guys, I'm here with a bit of information for Dragon Ball Legends. So, the official Dragon Ball Legends Twitter accounts, and also I believe the Bandai YouTube channels, announced the next 2 sparking units we'll be getting in the game. One of which is just a regular 1% sparking, and the other one, of course, is the next LF unit. So, the new units that we'll be getting in the game are none other than a new sparking Android 18, which actually I think it's been a while since we've had a new Android 18 unit. And the LF unit we'll be getting is Tag Super Saiyan Future Gohan and just Trunks Youth, like Teen Trunks from the future. So I'm actually really excited for this because it's been a while since we've had a new Future Gohan unit. A very long while, right? But not only that, we've had this pair, not necessarily with Super Saiyan added, but we've had this pair as a tag unit before, but it was just, they were an EX unit. So because of that, like, they weren't really in the spotlight for that long. And I think it was around the time when tag units were still relatively new. So like them as a tag unit, even as an EX unit, was a big deal. But now they are a full-fledged sparking LF unit. And I'm actually really excited for this unit. But I recorded my reaction, so check out my reaction, and then we'll just continue talking about them afterwards. Okay, let's see. Let's see that heat. I'm kind of excited. Wait, what? Wait. 18? What? Wait, so... Is this supposed to be like I was, okay. I mean, that also helped the girls tag as well. Because they've been getting like slight buffs, so there's that. A new Trunks? Wait, LF Trunks and Gohan? Wait! Oh wait, hold on, wait, I might have to lock in. LF Trunks in future? Oh, okay, hold on, bro. Like, it's been a while since Future Gohan has had another unit. That's actually pretty fire. Okay, they're using the voice for Kid Trunks. Okay. Like, I wasn't expecting that, but it's whatever. But this is cool though, man. Wait, a double Masenko? Okay, yeah. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, so Future and Hybrids buff. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Wait, what? Oh, wait, they're a revival unit. Oh, wait, that's pretty cool. That's pretty fire. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's cool. What? Yeah, okay, I'm summoning on that for sure. That's freaking cool. I don't know about you guys, but I am so excited for this unit. Like, it's been so long since we've had a new summonable Future Gohan unit. And not only that, the next sparking unit for him is another LF? Sign me up. I'm so ready, bruh. But we do have the official details here, so we're just gonna go through all of the full details and then go from there. So we have Super Saiyan Gohan. He's a blue unit. His tags are Sun Family, Vegeta Clan, Hybrid Saiyan, Super Saiyan, and Future, of course, Vegeta Clan because he's paired up with Trunks, and Episode Android Saga Z. Z ability 1, plus 22% to tag Future, base blast attack, and defense during battle. Z ability 2, plus 26% to tag Future, tag Hybrid Saiyan, or tag Vegeta Clan base blast attack and defense during battle. Z ability 3, plus 30% to tag Future, tag Hybrid Saiyan, or tag Vegeta Clan base blast attack and defense, and plus 15% to tag Future base strike defense during battle. And Z ability 4, plus 38% to tag Future, tag Hybrid Saiyan, or tag Vegeta Clan base blast attack and defense, and plus 18% to tag Future base strike defense during battle. So the main tag that they're very clearly trying to promote them for is Future, but you can also of course use them on Hybrids and Vegeta Clan. Although I'm kind of scared for Vegeta Clan because that's another unit that you can pair up with Ultra Majin Vegeta. And again, there are some characters that are out now that can like kind of do damage to him, but now that he might have that coverage, I don't know, bro. Like, we might be going backwards. Who knows? Anyway, moving forward. Strike Arts Impact restores own health by 3% upon activation. Blast armor when charging forward. Good. Blast Arts Impact plus 15% to damage inflicted for 10 timer counts upon activation. Okay, not bad. Special move deals massive impact damage. Applies the following effects to self upon activation. Plus 30% to special move damage inflicted for 3 timer counts. Applies attribute upgrade. Minus 20% to enemies sustained damage cut effects for 3 timer counts. Nullifies enemies, restores health when it reaches 0 effects when this character attacks for 3 timer counts. Also applies the following effects to self per arts card in your hand. Plus 10% to special move damage inflicted for 3 timer counts. Plus 10% to critical rate for 3 timer counts. Blast armor when charging forward. Okay, so special move. Again, you get that extra boost of damage just by using the card. You knock down their sustained damage cut, so that'll hopefully help you hit it, like the damage will hit harder pretty much. And not only that, of course, they're an elf unit, they have to nullify endurance, it's just a staple at this point. But you also get effects per arts card in your hand, right? So again, it said also applies the following effects to self per arts card in your hand, plus 10% to special damage inflicted for 3 timer counts, and plus 10% to critical rate for 3 timer counts. So I'm assuming, right? I'm assuming that if you pop your special move, if you have 3 cards in your hand, you'll get plus 30% to your special damage for 3 timer counts, and plus 30% to your crit rate, which is crazy, right? Because it says per arts card in your hand. So that will be very, very interesting because that can add that extra firepower that you may need to wipe somebody out. So that's good. Then we have the special skill. Randomly draws 1 new card. Restores own key by 50. Plus 20% to damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. Plus 70% to own unique gauge charge rate for 10 timer counts. Cannot be stacked. Applies buff effect. Nullifies enemy special actions that activate when changing cover to self for 10 timer counts. Nullifies own attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions for 10 timer counts. Okay, so it nullifies cover change for 10 timer counts. That's good. You get plus 70% to your own unique gauge charge rate for 10 timer counts. That's good. We don't know what the unique gauge does just yet, but still good. You get key, which is important because it's one thing to nullify cover change, but it would suck if you're in the process of nullifying cover change and you don't have key. And to top it all off, you get another card. So that's good. And then, of course, nullifying your attribute downgrades in abnormal conditions is always a good ability. So there's that. Switch ability. Tag switch to Trunks Youth. Switch his own element to element purple. Okay, so they're a blue and a purple unit. Randomly draws 1 new card when you have 3 or fewer cards. Restores own health by 10% and key by 40. Charges own unique gauge by 40%. Cancels own attribute downgrades. Requirements max switch gauge. So Trunks is a purple unit. That's not bad, but we do have a future blue and purple tag unit that we just got recently, and that's Cell and Frieza. So knowing that this is already going to replace them is kind of crazy, especially because Cell and Frieza are the second unit that have the ability to seal a unit off. So that's gonna be interesting, but at the same time, this is an LF unit, so we'll see the differences in their capabilities. But that aside, at least when you swap to Trunks, you get a card, which is good. You get health and key, and you charge your unique gauge. Again, we don't know what the gauge does just yet, but charging it is always gonna be a good thing. And then, of course, canceling your attribute downgrades, always good. Now, unique ability 1. When own health reaches 0, Super Saiyan Gohan and Trunks Youth changes to Trunks Youth with 80% health and transforms into Super Saiyan. If own health reaches 0 due to enemies self-destruct attack, the character will be defeated. So again, just random example, if you had one of the older Majin Vegeta units, or if you had like one of the older Android 16 units, and you use like the attack that would knock out your unit but would deal massive damage to your opponent, if that knocked them out, the unit would be dead. So that's pretty much that. Applies the following effects to self when battle starts. Charges unique gauge by 90%. Charges switch gauge by 60%. Wow, plus 170% to damage inflicted, cannot be canceled, okay. Reduces damage received by 70%, cannot be canceled. Reduces impact, explode, and slice damage received by 10%, cannot be canceled. Increases arts card draw speed by 1 level, cannot be canceled. -5 to arts cost, cannot be canceled. Wow, okay, so you get a good charge rate for your unique gauge and your switch gauge as well. You got a pretty big damage buff at 170%. You reduce your damage by 70%, which is good. Impacts, explode, and slice damage received are reduced as well. You got permanent card draw speed up, which is good. And your arts costs are all 5 key less, which is good because, hey, the less you have to spend on your cards, the better off things will be because that means you can potentially combo longer. So that's good. I have no issues with this whatsoever so far. So, and I think the best thing about all this isn't an endurance unit. This is a revival unit, right? They're a revival unit because of the fact that you swap to a completely different character when their health reaches 0. That's revival. So just knowing that we have a tag unit that has that revival perk is kind of terrifying. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So we'll see. But also I wonder what element factor that, because it is Trunks that you default to, because it's again Gohan being defeated. So I guess I will make them a permanent purple unit. Like, we'll see how that works. All right, with more of the abilities, the following effects occur every time when faced with an enemy. Restores own ki by 20, plus 10% to damage inflicted for 10 timer counts. Nullifies own unfavorable element factors for damage sustained for 5 timer counts, cannot be canceled. Inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade, -1 arts card draw speed level for 5 timer counts. Applies the following effects to self every time this character uses an arts card. Plus 10% to damage inflicted, cannot be canceled, activates 5 times. Activation count is shared between Gohan and Trunks Youth. Plus 10% to damage inflicted for 10 timer counts. Nullifies enemies' wide range special arts attacks when this character is on or in one of the following states, activates once. Slide, moving, or standing still, sidestepping, or to the left or right, receiving an attack, excludes abnormal conditions and special states caused by certain arts, excludes changing cover. So, just knocking out that portion real quick, they block AoEs. They only do it once, and they do it whether you're sliding, standing still, sidestepping, right? Or if you're in the midst of a combo and they throw it out, you'll block it. But if you're in a particular state, like let's say if you faint, if you're paralyzed, things of the sort, it won't work. And if you cover change into them, it won't work. So use it accordingly, but it's still a good ability. So AoE moves like Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's special skill, Ultra Majin Vegeta's special skill, etc. You'll be able to block those once. So that's good. That's good. But apart from that though, the damage buffs are always going to be a good thing, and it's for 10 timer counts, which is good. Of course, you get ki every time you're faced with an enemy. You nullify unfavorable element factors for damage sustained. Again, that can really help, especially since Trunks is a purple unit. Like, we'll see how that works, because I think right now we're talking about Gohan. But that still will also help because we do have Transforming Vegito Blue, who is a green unit who combos forever. So being able to go element neutral during a damage sustained, that's good. And then of course, giving them the downgrade -1 arts card draw speed level for 5 timer counts should hopefully help slow their combos down, even if just a little bit. And then, yeah, just every time the character uses an arts card, you get your damage up as well, and it activates up to 5 times. And it also resets when you, or no, not reset, sorry, it's shared between Gohan and Trunks, but it can't be canceled. So that's good. You got that extra firepower to be able to deal damage. That's good. And then another damage buff on top of that. So, unique ability 2. Knocks enemy back to long range if a cover change is performed against their strike arts attack. Activates during assists, comboable arts, special move arts, just strike cover into special move. Charges own unique gauge when this character is on the battlefield. Once unique gauge is full, applies buff effect, nullifies enemy special actions that activate when changing cover to self for 10 timer counts. Okay, so we don't know, because it says, yeah, charges own unique gauge while this character is on the battlefield. And once it's full, so, I mean, it just says while they're in, so they have to be in to charge the gauge. Okay, I guess we just gotta figure out more about it. Moving on. Applies the following effects to self when unique gauge is full. Plus 30% to damage inflicted, cannot be cancelled. Increases arts card draw speed by 1 level, cannot be cancelled. The following effects occur every time when hit with an enemy's arts attack while this character is on the battlefield. Charges own switch gauge by 30%. Plus 10% to damage inflicted by allies for 15 timer counts. Shortens ally substitution counts by 1, activates 10 times. Okay. If own unique gauge is full after enemy attack is over, it resets to 0 and the following effects occur. Restores own health by 20%, reduces enemy ki by 30, inflicts all enemies with 3 substitution counts. Okay. Where do I even begin with this? So, you charge your gauge when they're on the battlefield, and when you're attacked by an enemy, it also charges the switch gauge. So, now you'll be able to swap between the two, but with the unique gauge, it really is just, they gotta be in. They gotta be in, and then once the gauge fills, then you nullify cover change and get other things, right? Which is fine. But I think just being able to restore your health might be able to help so long as their survivability is good, right? Plus, you cripple your opponent's ki, which is always gonna be helpful. And you also inflict your enemies with 3 sub counts, which 3 sub counts is not really a lot. It really isn't, especially because we have a lot of units that just knock those sub counts down if you try to use particular moves. If you're able to trap them in with no switching, that would have been better. But 3 sub counts, I guess it's better than nothing. And then the very last thing of it was shortens own substitution count by 5 when enemy activates an ultimate arts, awaken arts, or rising rush while this character is on standby. So there's that. And that's it for Gohan. Now, we have Trunks Youth, Element Purple, character tags, Sun Family, Vegeta Clan, Hybrid Saiyan, Super Saiyan, Future, again, he's on Sun Family because of Gohan, Episode, Androids, Saga Z. The Z abilities should be the exact same through, or with both of them, so I'm not gonna read that again. Oh, but he has differences with his cards. So, Strike, Impact, no Blast Armor, Blast, Impact, nothing special with it. And now, Special Move. Deals massive impact damage, applies the following effects to self upon activation, plus 30% to special move damage inflicted for 3 timer counts, applies attribute upgrade, minus 20% to enemy sustained damage cut effects for 3 timer counts, nullifies enemies, restores health when it reaches 0 effects when this character attacks for 3 timer counts, applies the following effects to self per arts card in your hand, plus 10% to special move damage inflicted for 3 timer counts, plus 10% to critical rate for 3 timer counts, plus armor change forward. I don't think anything's really changed with this either, so that's pretty much the same. Special skill, randomly draws 1 new card, restores own ki by 50, plus 20% to damage inflicted for 20 timer counts, plus 70% to own unique gauge charge rate for 10 timer counts, cannot be stacked. Applies buff effect, nullifies enemies, special actions that change cover to self for 10 timer counts, nullifies own, so I don't think there's really, actually I don't think there's any changes at all. So that's that. Switch ability, tag switch to Gohan, switches own element to element blue, randomly draws 1 new card when you have 3 or fewer cards, restores own health by 10% and ki by 40, charges own unique gauge by 40%, cancels own attribute downgrades, requirements, max switch gauge. So there's that. Now, let's see if the unique abilities actually change. So, unique ability 1. When own health reaches 0, Super Saiyan Gohan and Trunks Youth changes to Trunks Youth. That hasn't changed. Let's see. Applies the following effects to self when this character enters the battlefield via tag switch. Draw a special arts card next. Activates once. Okay. Charges switch gauge by 30%. Minus 5 to blast and special move arts cost, cannot be cancelled. Activates once. Plus 20% to health restoration, cannot be cancelled. Activates once. Plus 70% to ki recovery, cannot be cancelled. Activates once. Also applies the following effects to self once 80 timer counts have elapsed from battle start. Activates once. Randomly draws at most 3 new cards when you have 3 or fewer cards. Restores health by 20% and ki by 50. Charges switch gauge by 50%. Plus 30% to damage inflicted, cannot be cancelled. The following effects occur every time when faced with an enemy. Restores own health, or restores own ki by 20. Plus 10% to damage inflicted for 10 timer counts. Nullifies own unfavorable element factors for damage sustained for 5 timer counts, cannot be cancelled. Inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade, minus 1 arts card draw speed level for 5 timer counts. Applies the following effects to self every time this character uses an arts card. Plus 10% to damage inflicted, cannot be cancelled. Activates 5 times. Activation count is shared between Gohan and Trunks Youth. Plus 10% to damage inflicted for 10 timer counts. Okay, so again, the beginning portion of ability 1, it's the exact same as Gohan. you know, they revive into Super Saiyan Trunks with 80% health. And if you self-destruct for whatever, or if your opponent self-destructs on this unit will die straight up. So that hasn't changed. Now, the -5 to blast and special move arts cost can be nice, because that makes your blast arts at, I believe it's at 25, and then your special move will be at 45. But they also have the ability of knocking down your arts cost by 5 just in general. So I think that would make blast 20, and that would make special move 40. So hey, it still helps. It still helps, right? And then you have health restoration, key recovery, all that good stuff. But with the 80 timer counts elapsing from battle start, and it just gives you cards, I don't know, man, because there's other ways of being able to get cards in that same fashion, right? More often than not, it could be tied to like a special skill, maybe your main ability. Obviously they're attack units, so they won't have a main ability, but you know, things of the sort, right? So having to wait a good portion, pretty much half of the battle, in order to get just 3 cards is kind of, you know what I mean? Because you could have tied something like this to, if your health was at 50% or below, then you could have restored your health by 20, got key, got some cards, charge your switch gauge. Like, it could have been tied to something like that, right? Because imagine if you get to 80 timer counts and your unit is darn near at full health with a full hand of cards, right? And maybe your switch gauge is already full for some reason, right? You have key. Like, the only benefit from this would be your damage inflicted. So again, I'm not like, this personally could have been tied to something better, but maybe it could play out that way where this would be like one of their strongest abilities. So who knows? And then of course, everything after that is pretty much the same. So moving to unique ability 2, knocks enemy back to long range if a cover change is performed against their strike arts attack, activates Strong Assist, comboable arts, special move arts. So Trunks also has strike cover that can lead up into a special move. Charges own unique gauge while this character is on the battlefield. Once unique gauge is full, applies the buff effect, nullifies enemy special actions that activate and change cover to self for 10 timer counts. That's still the same. Let's see. Applies the following effects to self while unique gauge is full. Plus 30% to damage inflicted, cannot be cancelled. Increases art card draw speed by 1 level, cannot be cancelled. The following effects occur every time when hit with the enemy's arts attack while this character is on the battlefield. Charges switch gauge by 30%. I think it's pretty much the same thing for the most part. Yeah, if own unique gauge is full after enemy attack is over, it resets to 0 and the following effects occur. Restores health by 20%. Yeah, so everything else is still the same with all of that. So, yeah. Okay, so there's not really differences with Super Saiyan Future Gohan and then just regular Trunks Youth, but there's a whole section for Super Saiyan Trunks Youth. So maybe there's some differences here. So we're not going to go over the element tags in episode again. We're not going to go over the Z ability again. But the arts cards, let's see. Strike. Impact restores own health by 3% upon activation, blast armor, and charging forward. That's better. Okay, so when you revive, you get blast armor, and you restore your health with strike arts. That's good. Blast. Impact. Plus 15% to damage inflicted for 10 timer counts upon activation. Okay, cool. Special move. Are there any differences? Deals massive impact damage. Applies the following effects to self upon activation. Plus 30% to special move damage inflicted for 3 timer counts. Applies attribute upgrade. Minus 20% to enemy sustained damage cut. Nullifies endurance. That hasn't changed. And also, there actually is one thing I did glance over. Trunks actually becomes a blue unit. Because I actually did, because I was so stuck on the fact that, you know, Trunks is purple. We've already read his abilities. They haven't really changed from Gohan type thing. That I actually glanced over that. So I'm glad that I caught that now before it was too late. Trunks actually becomes a blue unit. So they are also the first tag unit with different element factors that actually will have you just delegate to a specific element factor after revival. So, you know, Gohan is blue, Trunks is purple, but if Gohan, you know, dies and revival's activated, you become a pure blue unit. Trunks just adopts his abilities. So there's that. But because of that, are there any differences at all with this? Let's see. Draw 1 card, restores key by 50, damage inflicted, nullify cover change, downgrades in abnormal conditions. That's the same. Draw a special move arts card next. Restores own health by 20%. And wait, whoa. Main ability? Oh! Oh! Oh, crap! This is the first tag unit with a main! Oh! Wow! Whoa! Okay, so they kind of hit us with like a... Wow, a 2-for-1. So our first tag unit with Revival, and, actually, it's not even 2-for-1. It's a first tag unit for Revival, the first tag unit to delegate to a specific element factor because of said scenario, and the first tag unit with a main ability. That's crazy. That's 3 things new that they're giving us. Wow. Okay, main ability. Draw a special move arts card next. Restores own health by 20% and ki by 50. Charges own unique gauge by 50%. Destroys all of your enemy's cards. Wow. The following effects also occur if there's a defeated battle member. They have death buffs. Oh god. Restores own vanishing gauge by 100%. Plus 30% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. Seals enemies rising rush for 15 timer. Wow. Okay. That, I'm not gonna lie, that is a strong ability. That's pretty freaking strong. So they get last man standing buffs. Well, not last man standing buffs, but death buffs. They get death buffs. And their main ability gives you a special move, it restores your health and ki, it charges your unique gauge, and it destroys your opponent's hand. Like, it's... Wow. Like, if you have anybody defeated on your team, you pop your main, you get your vanish back. You get a damage buff and you seal rush for 15 timer counts. That's a long time. So that, wow, incredible. Unique ability 1. Applies the following effects to self after transforming. Switches element to element blue. Draws a special move arts card next. Restores ki by 50. Cancels attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions. Also applies the following effects to self if fewer than 80 timer counts have elapsed from battle start. Wait, what? Plus 20% to damage inflicted cannot be canceled. Nullifies unfavorable element factors for 40 timer counts cannot be canceled. That's good. That is okay. It says also applies the following effects itself if fewer than 80 timer counts have elapsed from battle start. So they're pretty much saying after 80 counts, I don't know, bruh. But if it's within that time frame, you become element neutral, right? But 80 timer counts is a pretty long time. That's like almost half of the battle. So if your opponent gets rushed, throw them in. Throw them in. Like, you know what I mean? The following effects occur every time when faced with an enemy. Restores own ki by 20, plus 10% to damage inflicted for 10 timer counts. Nullifies own unfavorable element factors for damage sustained for 5 timer counts, cannot be canceled. Inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade, -1 arts card draw speed level for 5 timer counts. I think that's pretty much the same. Applies the following effects to self every time this character uses an arts card. Restores ki by 10, plus 10% to damage inflicted for 5 timer counts. Also applies the following effects to self if there is a defeated battle member. Activates once. Draw a special arts card next. Plus 20% to critical rate, cannot be canceled, okay? Unique ability 2. Knocks enemy back to long range if a cover change is performed against the strike arts attack. Activates during assist. Comboable arts, special arts. So this unit straight up has strike cover that can follow up with the special move. Rapidly charges own unique gauge when this character is on the battlefield. Applies the following effects to self once unique gauge is full. Randomly draws at most 3 new cards when you have 3 or fewer cards. Applies buff effect, nullifies enemy special actions that activate when changing cover for 10 timer counts. Okay. And it shows rapidly charges own unique gauge, so that's nice. Applies the following effects to self while unique gauge is full. Plus 30% to damage inflicted, cannot be canceled. Increases arts card draw speed by 1 level, cannot be canceled. Applies the following effects to allies every time when hit with an enemy's arts attack while this character is on the battlefield. Plus 10% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. Shortens substitution count by 1, activates 10 times. If own unique gauge is full after enemy attack is over, it resets to 0 and the following effects occur. Restores own health by 20%, reduces enemy ki by 30, inflicts all enemies with 3 substitution counts. Shortens own substitution count by 5 when enemy activates an ultimate arts, awaken arts, or rise and rush while this character is on standby. Okay, sure. And that's it. Wow, this is a long one to break down. Okay, so this is interesting because this is a new type of tag unit. This is a brand new type of tag unit, right? We've had obviously the first tag unit that was an element factor and a reverse element factor. And then we had the next type of tag unit that had a singular element factor. And then after that, we got tag units with dual element factors, right? Like, for example, blue and purple. And now we have a newer type of tag unit, a newer one, where they have dual element factors and revival on top of it. Like, they're the first tag unit with a main ability. Now, again, the main ability isn't tied inherently to like the tag. It's after revival, but that's still part of the tag unit, right? They're the first tag unit with a main ability. And not only that, first tag unit with revival, first tag unit with main ability. I can gently ask this question. If the revival activates, do we not get access to the LF? Or is there another LF? I don't even know anymore, man. Like, this unit actually sounds very interesting. Like, I'm actually really excited to see what they can do, because there's a lot of stuff to break down, because again, new type of unit, but I really hope that they're like a really good unit, because again, this could be a very strong start for the year. Very strong. But I do want to know what you guys think about them in the comment section below. But with that being said, I'm Ndukauba, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.